Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scotty and today I'm going to talk about Call Me By Your Name. This is my review of Call Me By Your Name, the book, and I will talk also a little bit about the movie. There will be spoilers in this video, but only at the end, and I will let you know when that happens, so don't worry. If you like content like this, please subscribe to the channel. I upload videos about movies, TV shows, and books. Now let's start with the review. I would say first that I would recommend reading Call Me By Your Name because it is a different experience than what I've read so far. The setting in Italy, the summer vibes are great. It is a very short read. This book is very introspective. You go in the head of the main character. It is basically the internal dialogue that Elio is having in his mind. All his thoughts, good and bad. Some of them are very wild, some of them are very selfish. We can see how he thinks and his fears, his insecurities, his desires, also his regrets, how he is growing and he is learning to be himself, how he sees life and how any detail can change his perspective. We also have a lot of references to other things. We have the vibe of academia because the characters are very knowledgeable. They're always talking about music, art, literature, languages, poetry. They always seem to have a discussion about these topics, and I think that's great. The love story, which is the main thing about this book, well, the second main thing, because in my opinion this is a coming-of-age story that has elements of the love story in it, but it's more Elio discovering himself and what he wants in life and how he wants to live his life. And of course the love story helps Elio a lot, but I also have so many issues with the love story. I like it, but I don't love it. Of course, this is the sort of enemies to lovers, but we have a big age gap, and that's something that I don't like. They're 7 years apart, I think, and for me that's a lot, especially Elio being too young. Sometimes I never believed that they were truly in love because some things that they did for me made no sense for them to be actually in love with each other. Of course they liked each other, they love each other at some point, but for them to be the love of the life of one another, I never truly agreed with that. And there were some points in which Elio seemed to be obsessed with Oliver. Not in love, but obsessed with him, at the beginning mostly. And also Oliver seemed very indifferent, of course, because we see everything through the point of view of Elio, and he was sometimes very dramatic about that. I don't know, I just never truly could get into the love story, the romance. It was okay, but it was not my favorite part of the book. And also I could not picture Timothy and Armie Hammer because of course I watched the movie before and there was no way that I could see any other thing than them. All the time that I was reading, I was just picturing them. I have to say that even though I didn't enjoy the love story as much, I think the description of love and desire, jealousy, all of that is very well done. It is a very intense description that it feels like you are exploring something very private. Sometimes I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't be reading this. It is too much information. I was shocked sometimes, but I think that's also a peculiar thing about this book and why people like it. So now there's gonna be spoilers and also spoilers for the movie, the ending of the book and the ending of the movie. So if you haven't watched or read, please don't watch this part of the video. The ending is painful and tragic, and as I said, I didn't believe that they were the love of the life of each other because Elio was so young. He even mentions that there are many other loves in his life, so I really don't get why Oliver was the love of his life. He even says that some of the other loves may have overshadowed Oliver's, but then still Oliver remains being the one, and I just don't get it. Especially because when they were together, Elio was also with Marcia. Obviously he didn't care about her as much, but he was with her and with Oliver at the same time. And that makes me think like he was just exploring himself and seeing what he wanted, but not really in love with Oliver. So that's why it makes no sense for me that later on he still thinks that Oliver is the love of his life, or the love that he would have wanted for him the most. When right at the moment when it was happening, he wasn't even into it. He had doubts, he had regrets, and maybe that was the evolution of their love, but for me that seemed like it was just Elio exploring his sexuality, his desires, but not really in love with Oliver. So one comparison that I have to make with the movie and the book is that the ending is very different. So the ending of the movie is basically just a little bit of the ending of the book, because we have that call in which Elio finds out that Oliver is getting married, and then the movie ends, but the book goes on, and then they meet again 1 or 2 times. I don't remember very well. They talk about it. They basically say that they would have been together, that it would have been great, but it was not possible. And it's a lot of what ifs. And Elio kind of says that Oliver is the greatest love and that he can picture him in Italy in the window of the room. That was very heartbreaking. I had to admit I cried. It was beautifully written. It was great. But still, for me, it's not the best love story, although I really like that part. It has many beautiful and painful quotes. It seems very private and deep and intense. Overall, I have to say that this book is a good read, but I might not read it again. But it was great that I had the opportunity to read it. And a special thank you to my sister because she let me borrow her book. And also, before I end this video, I wanted to say that this t-shirt is just like Elio's. I will put a picture here so you can see which one I mean, but I mean, this is old, but I still cannot get rid of it because it reminds me of that. That's it for the video. Let me know what you think about this book in the comments below. I would love to chat with you about it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe right here. You can watch more of my videos right here. I always upload content about movies, TV shows, and books. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.